My name is Jeremiah. I'm going to do everything I can to give kind of a real, this is very much basic and kind of a beginner course on how to use video in a very simple and economical way to advertise your business. There's a lot that you can do using video to advertise your business, but what I'm going to kind of focus on today is using YouTube. And you know, there's plenty of marketing companies or video production companies like myself that you can hire to do this for you, but the internet has made it so easy and accessible for everyone that you can literally pull out your cell phone, make a video about your business, and advertise it on YouTube for free with your own distribution, and you can pay YouTube to advertise it for you to your target demographic, and your budget can be as little as $1 a day to $1,000 a day, depending on whatever you want to spend. So we're going to kind of really focus on the low end as far as like what you can do just to sort of get started and get your feet wet with video. The first session that I taught last month was more about kind of the why you should do this and how using video to market your business can be effective. This time, I want to kind of focus a little bit more on the practical how you actually do it. So what I'm going to do is just kind of walk through how to create a YouTube channel, and then once you've created it and uploaded your video, how you can optimize it so that people that are looking for what it is that you're providing can find your video, and then how you can use the embed codes and the linking to put it all over the internet and all the places that you already are. And then we're going to just kind of go through a quick example of how to use YouTube AdWords. It's very similar to Google AdWords if you guys have ever paid Google to advertise your business. Well, they also have a thing with YouTube that you can do the same thing. So let me pull this up here. Honestly, I'm mostly just going to use this to kind of keep my place. Where did we leave off last time? So, okay, last time we had just gotten into kind of why I think YouTube is the best place to start as far as using video. Again, YouTube is owned by Google. They're very interconnected, and it's all about getting traffic to your website, right? And that's what we're going to basically kind of be focusing on today. Let me go ahead and start this guy here. All right, let's see. Okay, so YouTube is just a couple of background facts. YouTube is the second largest search engine. There's the only place that there's more searches done than YouTube is Google itself, right? So there are a lot of people searching on YouTube just for stuff. How do I fix my car? Where to go and get a good hamburger in Blue Springs, you know, and people are typing that in the YouTube search field, right? YouTube is owned by Google and gets special treatment. I've kind of found this again and again and again. When you're trying to get your website moved up the list in Google, you know, if you search video production company in Blue Springs, right? You know, who's going to be listed first, who's going to be listed third, who's going to be listed on the first page, second page, third page. Well, Google has you know, what they call spiders. It's searching the internet for all the relative information, and it ranks it based on the quality of information that it finds. Well, the more information that you can give Google, the better. And one of the things that they definitely look at is your YouTube videos and your YouTube channel that's connected to it. And I believe that they get special treatment over Vimeo and a lot of the other video playing websites that are out there, Dailymotion. And if you do a Google search, let's say on how to fix my faucet in Blue Springs, or just, you know, you make that search while you're in Blue Springs, you're going to see a ton of YouTube videos come up showing you how to do that, and then like below that, like the 7th or 8th one will be from another place like Yahoo Video or something like that. So you can definitely see the preferential treatment they get. There's more hours of YouTube are watched than broadcast and cable combined. So, you know, if you're thinking about where you want to advertise your video, local television, cable, satellite, still a good place to do it, but there is more hours being watched on YouTube than on television, so you got to think about that. I also like the fact that YouTube is really easy to work with and to connect to. So, okay, I'm going to get out of here, and I'm going to kind of go through and show you guys just some screenshots of one of my YouTube channels here. When you first kind of create your YouTube channel, which I'll tell you, let's start with that. How many people here do not have a YouTube channel already? Show of hands. Okay, so we have a couple, all right? And I know I already talked with Christine, but you have a Google account, right? Have you ever used Gmail or type of thing? Okay, so when you, for your business, do you have like a Google Maps listing and a Google Plus for business page? Do you know?
I don't think so.
You don't think so? Okay. That's definitely something that you're going to want to kind of get into. But since you already have Gmail, what you'll want to do is use that same login information to create a YouTube channel. So if we just go in here, if you just go to youtube.com, all right, and I'm going to sign out here. And you just, let's say you want to add an account. If you click on sign in and you just hit add an account, it's going to give you basically the option of creating your YouTube channel. It's going to look just like this, right? Now, what you'll want to do is use your Google current email address right here. And basically doing that is going to link your YouTube channel that you create to your Gmail account that you already have, right? So when you log in to like view your Gmail, it's actually going to log you into YouTube at the same time. So whenever you do posts, it basically talks to each other, right? And you can see here, like it even tells you one account's all you need. All of your Google Plus, your YouTube, your Gmail, search engine, Google Maps is all kind of the same thing now, which is really nice. So you basically already have a YouTube account if you have a Gmail. You won't even, it'll like stop you and it won't even go through the whole process. It'll just use that Gmail account that you already have, okay? Once you get into your YouTube channel, let me go back into it here. It's gonna ask you, do you want to use YouTube as yourself, or do you want to create a specific page for like your business, okay? And what you're gonna want to do is create a page for it. So like, here's my normal Gmail account, like that I first set up is just under my name, right? But I created this YouTube page called Storybook Wedding KC because that's what I'm wanting to advertise is my wedding videography business, okay? And in doing that, it kind of keeps all of your personal stuff personal and it keeps all of your business stuff business, right? So if you wanted to upload a video of your kid's birthday party or whatever, you could do that on your personal thing, but it's not going to show up in your business and vice versa, right? And again, it's very easy to do. You just kind of follow the steps as you get through it, all right? But your first thing that you're going to get to when you go into your YouTube page is your dashboard, right? And this is where all of your videos are going to be, and you can kind of see your traffic as far as how many people are watching, your channel, how many minutes that they watch of it, and everything else like that, right? But your video manager, which is right over here, is going to be your most important thing. You might want to write down Video Manager because that is where all the good stuff happens on your YouTube channel. And you have to be, I'm going to kind of backtrack a little bit. Up here in the upper right-hand corner where you kind of see the icon of the picture that you put up here, if you go to YouTube and it takes you to just kind of when you first log in, it's just going to throw up a whole bunch of videos that they think you're going to like, and it's going to kind of look like this, and it's going to look like something, for entertainment. You're going to be like, well, where's all my videos, right? This is all just stuff that you can watch of other people as far as like what's popular on YouTube that day. But what you really want to do is click on this icon, come over here, and you can go to your Creator Studio, which is just another name for your dashboard. They changed the name a couple months ago to that, and then go to your Video Manager. As your Video Manager is going to show all of your videos that you've uploaded and kind of what's going on with them. All right? So, when you upload a video, I'm going to use, we'll use this one for an example. Okay, Okay. When you upload a video, it's going to take you to this page right here, okay? And you're going to be able to create the title of your video. And again, you want to always think in terms of search engine optimization, okay? You want your title, your description, and your keywords to all three of them need to have the words that people are going to be searching to find whatever it is that you're selling. So, you know, again, this is for a wedding business, like for Sound and Shadow, I've got, you know, different words, but, you know, I want to make sure that wedding is in my title, I want to make sure that it's in my description, and I want to make sure that it's in my tags, okay? So when you first upload a video, it's going to look exactly like this, except this will be blank, and you'll basically create your title for whatever you want it to be. Then you have your description here, and then you have your keywords here. For your description, it's very, very important that your first line, or in my case, my first 2 lines, are your website, okay? Let me show you an example of why. Okay, so you can see here, this is just a straight Google search. My YouTube video that I made popped up, right? And you know, it's got my title. It's got a rich snippet, which we talked about last time. Anytime that you can get a little video player or something that's like a picture to pop up in a Google search result, that's really good because it's going to increase the likelihood that someone's going to click on it. But you can see here that my website is right here in the actual search results. So they could find, because again, it's all about taking traffic to my website. I don't really care if someone goes to YouTube. I want them to go to my website because that's where they're booking me, right? And so if I go here and watch this video, you're going to see here that the description has basically a break in it. Your first 3 lines are going to appear above the break. Everything else in your description, you have to click on Show More before you read it, right? Well, we don't want to trust that someone is going to actually click on that Show More. We want to make sure they're going to get that website right on top so you can see it, right? So you always want to make your first line in your description your website link to go back, okay? And that's when you upload it. Again, when you're entering in your information for your description, just always make, you know, for more information, go to www.bluespringschamber.com or whatever it is that your website is, right? And then, you know, underneath that, you can put other pertinent information for those first couple lines that you think is kind of like the most important thing, all right? Then below that, you want to have a full description, and you really want to take time to fill that out. Let me go back to this here, okay? So you can see here, this is, I've got about 3 paragraphs worth of information. The reason this is important, about 2 years ago, Google changed the way that its spiders look for information, right? It used to be all about the keywords, which they still have keywords, but it was basically the spiders looked at these keywords and that was pretty much it, right? So if I was typing, you know, something into the Google or YouTube search engine, it would just look for associated keywords. Well, now they have like a whole algorithm that actually reads your description and intelligently figures out what it is that you're talking about and then ranks that as far as how relevant it is to your search, right? So what I usually do, if I'm going to make a little promotional video for someone, I will copy and paste the entire script of the video into that description. That way it's very easy for Google search engines to go through and read what it is that you're talking about and then say, okay, this is what the relative information is to the search. So, you know, for example, if you uploaded a video that was promoting the Chamber of Commerce, right? You would probably, you know, have like a voiceover or something like that of someone talking about like maybe an event that you're doing, like Fall Fun Fest, right? So, you know, that person is going to give, you know, 2 or 3 paragraphs worth of information what it's speaking, and Google will be able to read that if you put it in the description, and it gives more weight to what your video is. Because again, Google's always trying to give whoever's searching the most accurate and most relevant thing to them, because that's how they make their business, right? So, if I'm just, searching for fun things to do in Blue Springs, and your keyword is Fall Fun Fest, that's not even going to match, right? But if, that person is talking about how Fall Fun Fest is fun, you can bring your kids and all this other stuff, it's going to rank all those things. So when I'm typing things to do with my kids, that's going to come up there, right? So it's very important that you paste your whole script into that description, and then also in real words actually talk about what it is that you're doing. Because again, Google's algorithms are really smart, and so if you just spam a bunch of keywords in there, it's going to gloss over it. It wants to actually read real content, because that's how the search engines for Google are working now. All right, and then you still want to use your keywords. So under keywords, you'll want to put, I always say less than 10. You can put in a lot of them, but the more keywords you have on there, the less weight it gives to each of those, right? So you want to put just your absolute most important keywords on there. And you always want to put your most important ones kind of first, right? So you've uploaded your video. This screen pops up. You put a relevant title that has, kind of your most important words in there. You've got your description that has your website on the first line, and then your full script of what you say in there, and then you put in your keywords, and they're just comma separated keywords. So you write what it is you want to do, and it will even give you like suggestions, but you don't necessarily need to follow them. Just comma and then the next thing, and it just automatically puts it right in. The next thing that you're going to want to do is pick a thumbnail. So like when my video shows up in search results, or when I embed it in my website, or when I share it on Facebook or anything else like that, what people are going to see is this picture, right? And YouTube automatically will just pick a random thumbnail. Like it might just pick a frame from your video that's just this guy sitting there, or this here, right? And so a lot of times that might not necessarily be the most flattering thing that you want, okay? So you want to, at the very minimum, it's going to give you 3 options of just random keyframes that it pulled out. You're going to want to select the one that you think is best. But right here, it's on the very bottom, it's going to let you do your own custom thumbnail. And I really highly recommend doing this if at all you possibly can. And either putting your logo in there, or actually saving a still frame from your video that you really like, and then uploading that still frame. That way you get to kind of pick what it is that people are going to see. Because like again, remember when we did that Google search and it popped up? You can kind of see here, this is just sort of a cool little icon. At least it's got a picture of something that kind of looks like a wedding. And when you go to my website, right, you can see here like this right here, I actually wrote some text on that thing. So when someone sees that embedded video, instead of just seeing a picture of a guy sitting there or whatever random still frame that they generated, it actually has this nice picture that looks really good and actually some instructions. So okay, I see this video, it's going to let me watch a recent Storybook wedding. I can click on it and there I go, I'm watching the video, right? So basically you're going to want to do that. Select your own either logo or frame from there, and it's as simple as this. You just let me go ahead and show you. Oops, hang on. It's a workout photo. Well, anyways, you just click on it and it lets you upload your image. It's super easy. Does anyone have any questions so far? We feel like you understand kind of where we're at? Somewhat? Okay. I'll tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to kind of just keep moving on. And at the end, we're going to go back through, and if you guys have any specific questions and want me to actually walk you through how to do it, we're going to do that. But I want to at least give you guys the basic information here. Let's see here. Okay, let me go back to my thing. Okay, one other thing I want to go over really quick. Get to it. You can actually. You can. Well, yes and no. You can change the length on them. So in YouTube, you can actually go and like cut off the beginning or the end if you wanted to. But that is kind of one of the things is like, let's say you did like a 2014 Fall Fun Fest video, right? 2015 comes up and you want to update it with like the new footage also. You have to actually completely upload a whole new video. You can't just like kind of like change as far as like the content of it, which is kind of a bummer because, you know, one of the things that you want to do is try to get a lot of views on your videos, because the more views they have, the higher it's going to be ranked in search engine optimization. And so, you know, I've got a couple of videos myself and I'm just like, oh yeah, I needed to change someone's name in it or something like that, you know, do some kind of minor change, and you unfortunately can't. But, and actually that kind of leads in nice what I was going to talk about here. You can do what's called annotations. So if there's something simple that you wanted to change, let's say, I don't know, in this video, you know, we had, you know, we'll just, for example, let's say, okay, this is, you know, somebody's name in it, right? You can go through and click on annotations here. Underneath your video, when you click on it in your video manager, you've got a bunch of different options for things that you can change. I would just honestly ignore all of these, except info and settings is where you can change like your description or your keywords or your title later on. But annotations is the other one that I recommend using. And here's what that does. It basically allows you to put, you know, some kind of little note or speech bubble or something like that in your video. So a lot of times what I like to do is put my website, right? As an annotation on there. And you can see right up here, it's basically made kind of a little overlay. And it's put it right in the video. And on here you can kind of decide how long you want to make it. Like let's say I want it to be, the first minute of my video is going to have my website on it, which again is just another way to kind of blatantly drive traffic to your website. Oh, and you can see here it doesn't quite fit. It's storybookwedding.co, so you can drag and make it bigger or smaller. So now, let's see, where'd it go? Hang on. Did I not save it? What happened here? Oh, there it goes. So now you can see it pops up right there, right? So now, again, we've got something else driving traffic to our website. Or, like if you needed to change something, like let's say maybe a date was wrong in your video and you don't want to go through and re-upload the whole thing, you could just write up here, oh, the date's different, it's actually this date. You know, you can put whatever you want and put it in your video anywhere. That's really the only way you can kind of like edit content. But otherwise, you can trim like the beginning or the end off of your video. But that's the only editing that you can do once the video has been uploaded. If you need to make a significant change, you have to delete the video and upload a new video. Okay? All right. It's a lot of information. I'm going to try to keep moving on because I know the time keeps moving on here. Okay. Sharing and embedding. All right. This is where we kind of get to how to get your video once you've uploaded it, put all of your description in there. How to get it out there, right? YouTube makes it super, super, super easy, which is one of the things I love about it. All right. So let's say this is our video here, and we wanted to share it. It's got a button right here for share. Click that. It's going to give you two options. Well, three options actually, two that I use. It's going to give you all these different icons, which you can link your YouTube channel with all of these different things. But what I usually do, since I want to do it kind of manually, I just click on this here and copy and paste this link, right? So I can go to Facebook, right? I can go to my business page that I've created, and I can share this video super easy. All right, and I just paste that link. And you'll see It gives you kind of the cool rich snippet here, which again, it's got my website right here because it's on the first line of my description, and I can post it and I'm done. So it takes 2 seconds, right? And what's cool is YouTube has gotten really good with their links. You almost don't need the embed code anymore. You can do almost everything with this link. You can put this anywhere. You can put it Twitter, LinkedIn, you can put it on your Google Maps listing, you can put it on your yellowpages.com listing, you can put it on your Angie's List, you can put it everywhere, right? In fact, I even do my email signature. So let's say I want to, blah, 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 blah. Let me find you're right. So let's say I'm going to send myself an email here. Blah, blah, blah. We'll just say, you know, I wrote this email, right? Send it to myself, and now I got to kind of log into my other thing here. So I open it. So this is your customer, your email list, whatever it is, person that's, and go. My internet's being slow. Come on. Oh, come on. What's going on? What did I do? Okay, I've never had my email not work. Okay, here we go. Okay, so this is what your customers are going to see then. They're going to see, you know, your email like normal, but then under your signature, right, you can actually see my video, right? And it's pretty non-intrusive, you know, and so just basically every time I send an email, you know, and we all send, what, hundreds of emails, right? Your video is going to be under there, right? And even if, let's say, 1% of the people you send it to are just like, oh, what is that? I'm going to click and watch that, right? Again, it's drawing traffic to your YouTube page. It's giving views. It's making Google think, oh, look, people are going to this website or they're going to this YouTube page. This is relevant. We're going to rank it higher on our search engines. And, you know, it's got your website and everything embedded in there, so there's a good chance that they're going to go to your website as well. It's basically just, it's an extra way for you to be generating web traffic to your stuff, right? And it's very easy to do this. If you want to know how I set up this signature, super easy. It doesn't matter, you know, whatever you know, email client that you use. You know, it's take you back to my here. You know, you just basically go into your settings, and they're all kind of the same. And it'll have a signature that you can create that just automatically signs it, and it's just exactly what I did, right? It's just Sincerely Jeremiah England, and I just copy paste that link. Remember that share link that we had? I just pasted it right in there, and Google did everything else, where it created the little embedded YouTube player where you could actually see that little icon and everything like that. It's all just done automatically. All I did was just copy paste that link into the signature text of my email. Super, super easy, right? So right here, you can, like, let's say you're, let's say you've got this really cool video, right? But the first 30 seconds are kind of fluff, and what you really want people to see is starting at 30 seconds. You can go here, and if you click on this, it changes the link. You can see the code there changes. I don't know if you can see that there, the code changing. It automatically changes that code there to then start at 30 seconds. So let's say you've got your video. The only place you're really going to link it is your signature. And you don't like the first 30 seconds of it, well, you can just have it start playing at 30 seconds or 28 seconds or a minute and 19 seconds, whatever it is that you want, right? But, okay, so that's share. This is the link for sharing. This is the embed code. Now, if you guys like do your own WordPress websites or want to kind of get a little bit further down the rabbit hole, this is your embed code, okay? So like, I last year changed both my websites over to using YouTube to play it. And by the way, when I did that, I saw a huge increase in my my search rankings under Google, which again is just further evidence that Google really gives preference to YouTube. Because I used to have them all on a custom player that I hosted on my own web server, so I could do everything that I wanted to. But I just found it to be much better. So let's take you real quick to my website so you can kind of see. Well, I guess, you know, I had, where's my, this other one. These right here are all put in via that embed code, okay? So this is my, you know, Storybook Wedding KC website. This is one of my kind of demo pages that just has some of my stuff. But the reason I want to show you this is that if you are the kind of person who does their own WordPress, this is the embed code that you're going to copy and paste into that page. And I'm not a programmer. I'm just very, I know only a little bit. But this is the only thing that you really need to worry about, is this part right here. Okay? In that embed code, it has the height and the width of your player, right? So in my website, I wanted it to be pretty prominent, right? So I made my embed code pretty wide on this, right? I changed it so that it would be bigger. If you wanted to make your video player this size, that's how you change it. Right here under the embed code, right here where it says width and height, you just change those numbers. That's all you do. You copy and paste that, and let's say you wanted your thing to be full screen, 1080 or 1920 across, you would just change that width to 1920 and the height to 1080, and it would be the full screen, right? Or you could make it really small, just a couple hundred pixels wide. But that's all you really need to know about embed code. Moving on, because that's a little more advanced than I wanted to get today. Blah, blah, blah. You can also use that embed code instead of the link for your email signature if you want to change the way that that icon looks. Okay. Since I'm kind of running out of time here, let's go into how to use YouTube AdWords. So this is paying money so that YouTube will put your video commercial that you made for your business in front of other things here. I'm just going to kind of show you. This is right off YouTube's webpage. Just kind of, they've got nice pictures to see. They've got 3 places basically that they put it. It'll be pre-roll before other videos. So let's say someone in Blue Springs is watching a funny cat video. Before that plays, you guys have probably all seen this before, some other commercial will play, right? And there's a little button on there that says skip, right? That's exactly what it's going to be. Your video is going to play before their funny cat video or their music video or whatever it is that they're wanting to watch, and they have the option to skip it or not. If they choose to skip it in the first 30 seconds, you don't pay, which is kind of nice. The only time that you actually are giving money to Google is if somebody decided that they were interested enough to watch 30 seconds or more of your video, which is pretty cool. It'll also come up in the search results on the side here. So as they might be searching for something else, which, again, if they're maybe searching for, small business lessons and things like that, your keywords might move that where the Blue Springs Chamber videos is going to be right there on the side. So as they're watching their other one, they're kind of looking at related videos and go, oh, okay, I'll click on that, right? And so if they click on that, then, you pay them. And then they also have where you actually type in search results, kind of like with Google. The first couple things will be sponsored ads on the results. So that's another place that your ad's going to be. But most of your views are going to come from pre-roll, where it comes before the ads. And I want to go through here. I went ahead and, because I wasn't sure about the internet access, I went ahead and went through and took screenshots here that you'll be able to see of me setting up one of my videos that I did for basically YouTube AdWords. So you'll be able to kind of see step by step on how it works. All right. So the first thing that you're going to do is go to your video manager, which again is kind of like I told you before. This is like how everything gets done. It's going to list all your videos here. All right. Then you're going to click on the little drop-down menu next to Edit, and it's going to give you all these different options. The option that you're looking for is Promote. Okay. You're going to promote this video. You're going to pay YouTube to promote it. All right, right here. It's going to basically take you into the Create a Campaign page here, and you're just going to kind of go through and follow the instructions. All right, this is where you're going to set your budget. You can do either a daily budget. So like for this one, again, I didn't want to spend a whole lot of money on this, so I just put $1 a day, right? That's going to be my daily budget. I'm not going to spend any more than that. You can do just a campaign. Like, I've had clients that are just like, I'm going to spend $3,000. It gets as many views as it does, and then that's it. I'm done with it, right? And yeah, go ahead. I'm going to show you that in just a second. Because it's variable, that's the thing. And that's one of the things too, like when I first got into this, I didn't realize, and that is really important, okay? So you're going to put in how much it is that you want to spend. Then you're going to do your basic demographics. You can get more in depth with these demographics, which I'm going to show you later. But first you're going to put your locations, right? You can do by zip code. Like let's say you've got a restaurant in Blue Springs and you just want to have 64014 and 64015. That's it, right? You could put that in there, and what that's going to do is that, you know, when somebody in, you know, Zimbabwe or in Overland Park or in Colorado, your video is not going to go in front of them because you don't need it to, right? They're not going to come to your restaurant. You only want people very local, right? Or you could type in a city like I did, Blue Springs, Missouri, or you can do a county like Johnson County, Jackson County, Clay County, whatever you want to do. You can do it by state, you can do it by country, right? So you can get as specific as you want to on this, right? And again, that just really helps you not waste your advertising dollar like you would like if you're doing a television advertising. You know, everybody in the whole metro is going to see it, but you know, people from Olathe probably aren't going to come eat at your restaurant here in Blue Springs type of thing, right? Then you put in your interests, right? And you can make custom interests. You can make whatever interests that you want, but I've always kind of found that you want to try to find, like when you type in something, like when I typed in weddings, it popped up weddings as one of the suggested things by YouTube. They're like, this is a category that we recognize and say is a category, right? So you want to kind of try to find those things that it'll suggest. You can make your own, but you're going to be more likely to be found if you use the YouTube suggested ones that come up, right? So you can put anything in there that you think is a relative interest that people are going to do. So like when I created this one, you know, I put all the different cities here that are kind of relevant to my area, and I put weddings as an interest. So if anyone's, you know, looking at funny wedding videos, or if they're looking at wedding dresses because they're trying to shop for one, or they're sampling, you know, wedding music, playlists, you know, all those different things that people are looking for, you know, my video is going to go in front of those people as opposed to, you know, a 14-year-old watching cartoons on YouTube or something else like that, right? Again, this is all about getting your video in front of relative people so you're not spending money advertising to people that aren't going to go to your business. All right. Then you're going to create your little ad, okay? So remember, like I said, besides having your video be pre-roll in front of other people's videos, it's going to pop up on the side and on search results, so you want this to look really nice. You want to have a headline basically saying is, what is it that you're doing for me, the viewer, right? So, you know, I put, we film Kansas City weddings, right? So that they know exactly what it is that I'm doing and why I'm relevant. And then you've basically got 2 lines. It's got to be very short of kind of what you do. And then you pick a thumbnail. Again, this is one of the reasons why it's important to use your own custom thumbnail, because you want whatever that picture is that's going to pop up there to be good and relevant. You don't want to just leave it on its default, because it could be anything. It could be any, you know, little frame from your video. So you want to make sure you've got a good relevant thumbnail. This also kind of gives you, you know, like you were asking Christine as far as like how much it costs. This gives you an estimated number of impressions. So for $1 a day, I'm getting less than 250 people that are going to see this, right? And you'll notice as you narrow in your demographics, like if I just had this for the whole world, like anyone to see it, I would probably have, you know, maybe more than 250 impressions that I'm going to get for my $1 a day, right? But the more you narrow it down, the less impressions you're going to get. And impressions are not views and they're not clicks. They're just, this was shown on a screen that somebody looked at. He might not have even noticed it was there, but it was there, right? So this is kind of more like your branding and your, you know, McDonald's always wants to be somewhere in the background, right? But you can make that work for you. All right, so then it's going to tell you to finish up your YouTube campaign, you actually have to go to AdWords. If you guys have never done AdWords before, this is like a whole nother kind of ball of wax that you've got to dabble in a little bit. But if you've ever set up Google advertising, Google AdWords, then you've already done this basically, because it's very similar to the same thing. But if you haven't before, it's no big deal. You just click on the blue button and follow the instructions, which is what we're going to do. It's got just some real basic information where you set up your, your country, your time zone. You'll put in your basic information. Very, very easy. You'll need to enter in billing information, give them a credit card number, right? And then you'll be able to review it. It's going to just have kind of the basic information that we already talked about, that we put in, and finalize it. But then it actually takes you to Google AdWords, okay? Again, if you've never used it before, no big deal. I'll kind of give you, this is what it looks like when you first go in if you don't have a YouTube AdWords thing set up. It's going to give you kind of a little tutorial here. If you want to go through it, that's great. But I'll show you just kind of a couple of things that you need to look at, because it's got a lot of information and it's all useful, but there's just a few things that you really need to look at. Let's see, where are we here? Okay, so your daily budget here, you can edit at any time. So let's say you start at $1 a day, you want to do more, you can make it go up. You start at $100 a day, you can make it go down. Whatever it is you want to do, that's where you're going to change. It's just right up there, super easy to get to, which is one of the things I like. Okay, max CPV, or click per view. This is like a direct answer to your question, Christine, as far as like how much does it cost every time someone views this, right? It uses the same process that Google AdWords uses, which is it's a bidding process, right? So if I search something relevant to plumbing in Blue Springs, and there's 2 different plumbing companies that have a YouTube thing, it's basically a bidding war, right? So the first plumbing company, let's say their maximum click per view is 50 cents, and the other one is 10 cents, right? So the one with 50 cents is going to pay 11 cents, and I'm going to watch his ad, right? The person with 10 cents, he doesn't pay anything, but his ad doesn't go up there, right? Now maybe the guy with 50 cents per click has a daily budget of $10 a day, right? Well, once his daily budget is used up, he's not going anymore, and so that person with 10 cents, his ad's going to start being seen by those people that search for relevant things based on their ad, right? So the higher you set your max click per view, the more likely it is that your ad is going to go up in front of somebody else's. Now, here's the thing I've kind of been finding as I'm doing this for different clients, because YouTube is still relatively new and not very many people are using it, you can actually get some pretty cheap click per view. And I mean, a lot of times you're bidding against nobody, right? So you're going to be paying, 10 cents a view is pretty reasonable, actually. I mean, I've seen a lot with that. And I'm going to show you guys here an example of that. But that's really just kind of, it's up to you, and you got to kind of think, okay, what is it worth for me to have somebody that's in my target demographic that's interested enough to watch at least 30 seconds of it? What is it worth it for me for my advertising dollar? Is it just 10 cents? Would I pay 50 cents to have someone listen to my elevator speech for 30 seconds? Would I pay $2? Whatever it is, the higher you set that, the more likely it is that your ad's going to go up in front of other people, right? So it's kind of, I mean, I wish it was simpler in that you could it would just say it's going to cost you 25 cents a view, but it doesn't. You have to kind of set a max, and you're going to pay anywhere up to that, right? But it is important to do, because I had a client once that, and I went through and explained this to him, and he was just kind of like, whatever type of thing. And YouTube, obviously they're there to make money, so they'll set the default for that pretty high, right? So if you have a $5,000 budget campaign, they're going like, oh yeah, $1 a view, that sounds good, and so he had 5,000 views, he spent like 2 or 3 grand, right? And I mean, he got his product out there, and it's not that expensive really if you compare other forms of advertising, but it still can be really expensive. So we made sure I went in there and lowered it down to him, so it works a lot better for him now. But anyways, that's kind of the most important thing when you go to this, that you want to go through and set your max click per view to exactly what you want it to be. And I think I even have, yeah, this is what it looks like. When you click on that little pencil, it just pops up a little max click per view, and you set it, hit OK, and it's done. It's super easy, right? This is an example of one of my clients. He said I could share this. This was a campaign that he ran for about a year, and he's a good success story for this, because he said that he does all kinds of mailers and all this other things that he does, and he said that this by far was the most people come into a shop and say, hey, I wouldn't believe it, I saw your thing on YouTube, type of thing. Like, he just heard lots of people respond to that. And this was his that he did. We set his max click view at 10 cents. So he paid 10 cents every time somebody either clicked on his link to watch it or watched 30 seconds or more of the pre-roll. And he did it for about a year. He spent about $1,800. It was 111,000 impressions. So it was on the screen of 111,000 times. He had, about 18,600 people actually watch his ad. Where's the, okay, here we go. Clicks. He had 660 people actually click on his link to go to his website from his YouTube video. Say what? 10 minutes? Okay. Well, we might not be able to do too much of a Q&A, but we're almost done with this part, and then I'll take questions. But this is like the most important thing, because this is your actual conversions. This is how many people you're actually getting to go to your website. So, if you think about it, he spent $1,800 to have about 700 interested people go to his website. And, for a car repair, if a quarter of those turned into actual customers, that can add up pretty fast as far as money that he's making off of this. So this is where you can really do some analyzing as far as, how much return on your investment that you're getting. It also shows you how much your video is played to. Now, this was just a 30-second spot that he did. So you can see here that only 17% of the people that this ad went in front of actually watched the whole thing. So he only paid for 17%, like these views, these 18,000 views. That's only he only paid for 17% of them, right? So this is 17% of the total number of people that saw it. So, which is roughly this 111,000. So we might have actually had his set on only pre-roll. I don't know. But anyway, this is the number of people it went in front of. This is the number of people that actually watched it. But you can see here that there were a whole lot more people that actually saw the first 5 seconds of his ad that he never actually paid for. So again, that's, if someone skips your video, they're probably not going to go to your website and buy from you. But you never know. Someone might hear Christine Salon or whatever it is, and then it's in the back of their mind there. So, when they're flipping through, something else and see it again, it's just kind of, it's getting your name out there. So, while the number of clicks and the number of views is obviously the most important thing, you got to think about the amount that this is actually going in front of people can be even quite a bit greater than that. One last thing I've got to show you. So we talked about our annotations, right? That let you have this little thing up here. Now, when you create those, in fact, let's just go back into the creation thing. You're going to see here, okay, that it has a little check mark for a link. And you can put a link to like another YouTube video. If you're doing like a Kickstarter, you can link to like a Kickstarter page or something like that. However, this will not let you link to your website. So even though this has my website here, if someone clicks on this, they're not going to be immediately taken to my website, right? Which is kind of a bummer, right? But YouTube, again, they want to get paid. They want you to actually advertise with them. So they prohibit that from actually being a hyperlink, unless you actually do one of these campaigns, right? So let's go to the video that I'm promoting. And let's watch that. All right, see this thing that popped up? This is basically a paid annotation link, right? Because I'm doing a paid YouTube video here, it allows me to have one of these. And when I click on it, you can see it takes directly to my website, okay? So this is a really, really great way to drive traffic. Now, this is kind of a loophole that you guys can use. If you want to basically pay nothing and have this link, you can go through and create a YouTube campaign for one of your videos. Just set your max click per view really low, like set it at like 5 cents, right? you're probably not going to get anyone to actually, you know, it's too low for your ad to actually appear, so you might pay, you know, 13 cents or 15 cents a month type of thing for it, right? So you're not actually, it's not being effective as an advertising campaign, but just because you have it listed as a paid YouTube campaign for as long as you want, you get to have this little thing that pops up here. So even if you decide you don't want to spend any money with it, I would recommend going ahead and setting this up as a paid YouTube thing and just set your max click really low so that your YouTube videos will be able to have this little pop-up thing here that will take you directly to your website. It's kind of a little loophole trick there that you can do. Let me show you real quick here. Okay, well, we got 5 minutes left. I'll tell you what, I want to at least do a little bit of a Q&A. Sorry, I'm very bad about going fast enough in the amount of time. I have a lot more to tell you. But anyways, questions. Who has a question that would like me to answer?
That link that just popped up here?
Yeah.
Does that happen automatically? Or is that something that you have to do?
No, you do have to add it in there. And it is one of the steps when you're setting up your video. It will ask you to do it. If for whatever reason that you don't see it, let me pull up my, see if I've got it up on one of these here. I'll just show it to you real quick. Where is it? Well, anyways, it's under your Google AdWords, that thing that pops up. It's one of the things that it will allow you to do. I'll try to maybe on the video, we're going to make a video of this and put it on the website for the library and the chamber. I'll put a little thing on where to find that. But yeah, it's just a 2-button thing where you just write the website and the description, and that's it. Super easy to do. Other questions? Yeah, I really think that 1 minute is the best way to go, or 30 seconds. You know, people just don't have the attention span. I have longer ones that I've used and have been effective. But you know, honestly, if you're going to do a commercial, you know, make it 30 seconds. That way, someone has to watch the whole thing in order for you to pay for it. Or even a minute, I think, is fine as long as you at least give enough information in the first 30 seconds. Another thing too, like, I'll just kind of show you real quick here. Here's one I did for Gage Gymnastics. You'll see here, what I did in the first 5 seconds of the video, it explains the entire commercial, right? I don't know if you saw it, I'm going to show you again real quick. I was basically saying, this is for Blue Springs Parents Night Out. You can drop off your kids. It's inexpensive, healthy, at the Gage Center. Boom, right? The reason I did that is because you remember when it is pre-roll, they have the option to skip it after 5 seconds. Well, they have to watch the first 5 seconds. So again, everybody that watched this, even though they're not paying and it's not going towards any of your stuff, they still see Gage Center, Parents Night Out, inexpensive, healthy, right? So, you know, they see that a couple times, even if they're not watching the ad, you know, it might, and again, in the back of their mind, be thinking something that you want to check out. So I try to do that a lot of times for my YouTube campaigns, make the first 5 seconds, this is what I do. You know, I'm Jeremiah England, I make commercials, you know, whatever. I mean, it can be as simple as that, right? You don't have to, it doesn't have to be rocket science, you know, just hold up your phone, talk about your business for 30 seconds. It's your elevator speech, and just make sure the first 5 seconds of it talks about what you do, you know. But yeah, I would keep it a minute or 30 seconds is really kind of the optimal, and again, make that first 5 seconds count. Because also it'll be more likely if you can hook them in that first 5 seconds, maybe then they'll watch the whole thing. But even if they don't, you know, let the subliminal marketing get in there and root around in their head for a bit. Other questions?
Is there a quality score ranking factor to this based off the description and keywords, like the same as regular AdWords?
Not that. Yeah, it's not like built in the thing. There are other plugins that you can get. Again, this kind of goes sort of a little bit more advanced, but like there are plugins that you can get that will kind of help you out with that. But yeah, no, nothing built actually into the system. So that's again where you want to just kind of try to think about what is it that people that are good potential customers for me, what are they typing into their search things, So, oh, one last thing, if I can real quick, just 1 minute. I want to show you one other thing. I say that a lot, don't I? Yeah. Let's go back to our, actually, I'm going to take you from here. Okay. So remember, this is our dashboard. This is our main thing. Video Manager, like I said, takes you to all the really important things you do. But your channel is also important when you first set it up. And you're going to want to go here to Advanced when you first create your channel. For you guys that don't have a YouTube channel yet, you're going to want to put in channel keywords. You're going to want to change your little icon to your logo. But this is really important. Your associated website. Remember I said once I switched everything over to YouTube, I saw a huge boost in my Google search ranking for my website? Well, it's because I linked my website here to my YouTube page, right? So my WordPress website hosted through Bluehost, right, is linked to my YouTube page. So again, as I draw traffic to that YouTube page, Google is seeing my website linked to it as a relative place, right? A lot of people are going for this. People that are searching these type of things are ending up at his website or ending up at his YouTube channel that's linked to his website. It gives that SEO juice to your website when you have it linked to it. So that's super important for you to do. And again, it's just go to your channel, Advanced, and it's right there, associated website. It's a little tricky to do. You might need to hire a web guy to do it if you don't do it yourself, or tell your web guy to do it, because the way that you do it, like mine is already done, but if I was just to do it, it gives you a little code that you have to put on your website. You basically copy paste that embed code into your website, and that's how Google then says, yes, this is the website that's linked to it, right? And then you can also do a Google Analytics tracking ID down here. And your Google AdWords, you'll want to link to it as well, and everything else like that. But the most important thing is associated website. Make sure your website is associated with your YouTube channel so that the SEO juice flows. I think I'm running over on time, so I'm going to end it there. But thank you guys very much. And I'll have a video with a little bit more information on it on the Chamber and Library website.